What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, Dinos, and I'm back with another video. I did release a video regarding draft strategy, and I figured, you know what? Let's give the people more of that. So this is going to be part two of Fantasy Draft Strategy, the 2025 edition. I'm going to give you three more tips to help you with your drafts this upcoming season. I know some folks draft very early. Some maybe start drafting this weekend. This weekend is the first weekend in August. I personally prefer to draft later in the season. It's all preference. You have injuries, player movement. There are still some free agents out there. If you go to the community tab on my page, there is a poll question regarding those free agents. The question I asked was, who was the best free agent wide receiver still available out in the market? Go check it out on my page, community tab, and post. So let's get right into it. I know the first preseason game, I know we're all excited, preseason. But hey, it's still football, is back. I'm excited. I hope you are too. So I'm going to make this quick so you guys can watch at least maybe the first quarter of the game, if any. Some deep scouting. At least that's what I do. But anywho, let's get to these tips. I'm going to give you 3 additional tips to the ones I've already provided. Number 1, strength of schedule matters. When I say strength of schedule matters, I mean this. If you pick players from teams that have a very, very difficult schedule defensively, meaning they're playing against top defenses, expect their output to be minimized. Say that one more time. When you pick players on teams that have a very difficult schedule against top-ranked defenses, plan for their outputs to be minimized. You want to look at strength of schedules when you're drafting players, not just their bye week, not just their performance from last year, as I mentioned in the previous video. There's another thing you want to consider, 1A of tips, garbage points, right? This does kind of go against what I just said, but hear me out. We all hate garbage points. We're all fantasy fans. Most football fans only watch till the game is pretty much determined by the score. But again, this is fantasy. We watch the entire game till the clock says 0, because all the way up until then, you have a chance to make more points or score more points. So garbage time points is also another factor you can use in determining who you want to draft and for this upcoming season. There are some players that typically get a lot of garbage points. These are your backup players. Now, backup players aren't the same as they used to be because you no longer have the bell cow running backs. You no longer just have 2 wide receiver sets, 2 tight ends. There's all types of formations and sets. So there's plenty of opportunities to get garbage points if you choose the right players later in your draft. Now, injuries does play a pivotal role in determining which players get those garbage time points. Weather, play calling, there's other factors. This is just something that you might want to consider once you get into the later rounds of your draft. Okay, moving on to number 2. Number 2 tip I'm going to give you tonight. Watch the board. Watch the draft board. Most fantasy drafts are in the snake format, either live or on a PC or computer, laptop, tablet, or phone. No, I do not work for AT&T. But you want to watch the board. You may go into it with a strategy. I urge you, watch the board. However, stick to your game plan. Let me try to see if I can give you a quick example. Let's say there is a tight end you want. Typically, tight ends do not go no earlier than 3rd round, maybe 2nd. We all know who that tight end is. If the board dictates that you take him early, but your game plan is to take him later, factor in the other picks previously by other folks that are drafting against you. That player may very well still be there in the round you want to select them. Choose accordingly. Vice versa. If the board dictates that that player won't be there, and you have a very, very low likelihood of getting that player in the next couple of rounds, go get your guy. Don't wait. Go get him, right? So that's tip number 2. Watch the board, but stick to your game plan, okay? Now, third tip I'm going to give you tonight. Again, this is going to be a pretty short video. Let me fix that there. The lighting's a little off. You want to determine which position is deep and which position is shallow. Which position is deep and which position is shallow. In every draft, there is a different weight on wide receiver, quarterback, running back, tight end, depending on the rookies that are entering the draft and your seasoned veterans. This year, from what I've seen, just looking at the early reports, it looks like a very, very heavy running back. Very, very heavy running back draft. So, again, these are my opinions. Use them as you wish. I wouldn't reach for a running back this year. I will make sure that I get a top tier wide receiver, if not 2, very early in the draft. The wide receiver position this year is not as deep as it has been in other years. In my opinion, I believe there are plenty of running backs available, again, based on the 2 and 3 headed backfields. You have some teams, like I would say Dallas. You have no clue who's going to be the lead running back. Even if it is determined that Javonte Williams may be the lead running back, who's to say he doesn't split carries with Jaden Blue and Miles Sanders? So those are situations that you're looking at to help you determine which pecking order you want to have for your strategy when you go into your draft. So let me recap those again real quick. 3 tips for the night. Strength of schedule matters. Number 2, watch the draft board. And number 3, determine which position is deep and which positions are shallow. Okay? Those are my 3 tips for the night. I have to prepare for a trip. Thank you all for watching. I will be back with another video soon. For those of you who are drafting this weekend, good luck and enjoy the game tonight.